Okay, be honest. How many tabs are open on your browser right now? A recipe you'll never cook? A course you'll never finish? An article on how to build a tiny house? And is one of them ironically a video called How to Focus? Yeah, we need to talk. You know this feeling intimately. You start something new. Let's say learning the piano. It's magical. You learn chopsticks in an hour. You feel like a genius. You bookmark advanced jazz theory. You buy a fancy metronome you don't know how to use. You're basically the next Mozart. You just need to tell your downstairs neighbors. But then you have to practice scales. Your fingers feel like confused sausages. That exciting ding of learning something new happens less and less. The sheet music starts to look like a tax document. So you think, this is taking too long. My true calling is clearly urban gardening. It's more organic. And the piano becomes a very expensive dust-collecting clothes rack. We've all been told this is a character flaw. We call it quitting. We call ourselves distracted, flaky, or the classic soul-crushing label, a jack of all trades, master of none. It feels like a personal failure, a sign you just don't have what it takes. But what if it's not? What if that brain of yours, the one that jumps from pottery to podcasting to Python, isn't broken? What if it's just built for a different kind of race? Like it's a Ferrari engine, but you've been trying to drive it like a tractor in first gear through a field, wondering why it keeps stalling. Let's reframe this. You don't actually quit things. You complete a very specific, hidden mission your brain is wired for. Think of your brain like a hyper-competent golden retriever with a metal detector. It loves the beep, beep, beep of finding something new. That beep is a chemical called dopamine. It's the ooh, a ball, a new ball signal. When you start Spanish on an app and you get a 7-day streak, beep, 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 fiesta de dopamina. You feel amazing. You can almost taste the paella. You keep going, learning colors, numbers, beep, beep, beep. But then you hit Unit 5. You're staring at the subjunctive mood. I hope that you would have gone. The metal detector goes silent. Crickets. No beep. Your golden retriever brain looks up, panics, no ball, no beep. I bet there's a ball, a beep over there in that woodworking video. And off you go, leaving Spanish behind like last week's chew toy. You haven't quit. You've simply completed your brain's assigned mission. Find the easy beeps. The initial thrill is gone, and no one told you what to do next. This is the critical fork in the road, the Dabbler versus the Polymath. This is the critical fork in the road. Everyone with a curious brain hits this silent, beepless plateau. The Dabbler hears the silence, gets nervous, and sprints to the next beep. They leave a trail of half-learned skills, half-read books, and half-built websites. It's fun for a while, like intellectual tapas, but it gets emotionally empty. You start to feel like you only ever live in the chapter 1 of 100 different stories. The Polymath is different. They have the same excited golden retriever brain. They adore the beeps, but they know a secret. The silence isn't a stop sign, it's the doorway. When the easy dopamine runs out, the Polymath doesn't flee. They sit down in the quiet, lean in, and whisper to their brain, okay, the shiny thing is gone. Now where's the real puzzle? The difference isn't in your desire to learn lots of things. That's your gift. It's in your strategy for moving past the first fun obstacle. A dabbler collects interests like pretty disconnected seashells. A polymath is the one who sees how to glue them together to make a mosaic no one else could imagine. They don't just have hobbies, their hobbies start talking to each other. So how do you become the polymath? How do you push through the boring bit when your brain is screaming for a new ball? We're usually told it's willpower or discipline. That's about as helpful as telling someone who's drowning to just swim better. Neuroscience points to something more physical. There's a specific region in your brain, right behind your forehead, called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. Let's just call it your follow-through muscle. This isn't where your intelligence or creativity lives. It's specifically where your, fine, I'll do the dishes, or okay, one more page comes from. Here's the key. This follow-through muscle only flexes when you do something you don't feel like doing. If you're binge-watching your favorite show, the muscle is asleep on the couch. If you force yourself to go for a run in the rain, flex. The muscle is working. And just like any muscle, if you never use it, it atrophies. If you always quit the moment the beefs stop, the second the guitar chord is hard, the code throws an error, you're letting this muscle waste away. It's not that you're a weak person, your follow-through muscle literally is. The good, glorious news is, it's the easiest muscle in your body to grow. You don't even need gym clothes. You don't walk into a gym and try to bench press a car. You'll get crushed and never go back. You start with the empty bar. This is the 10% rule. When you are practicing and you hit that wall, the exact moment you think, I'm bored, I'm done, this is stupid, you do not quit immediately. You do 10% more. Just 10%. That's it. You plan to code for an hour, and at 40 minutes, you're stuck. Do 4 more minutes, then stop. You wanted to read 30 pages of that history book, and at 25 minutes, your brain is buzzing. Read 2.5 more pages. Round up, be a hero. Then close the book. That tiny intentional act of continuing past your comfort zone is 1 rep for your follow-through muscle. It's not about the extra minutes of practice. It's the neurological act of telling your brain, I am in charge of when we stop, not you. Do this consistently and that muscle gets stronger. Soon, plateaus feel less like brick walls and more like gentle hills you have the stamina to climb. But we can't just rely on grit. We must be clever. Your curious brain needs engagement, so we trick it with what I call the snack stack. You're not just learning one monolithic, boring skill. You're collecting a stack of related snacks that keep the diet varied. Example, you're learning graphic design, the main skill. Snack 1, the fun one, follow a 15-minute tutorial to make a cool glowing logo. Beep, dopamine hit. Snack 2, the theory one, listen to a podcast about the history of fonts while you wash dishes. Learning. Snack 3, the boring drill, practice the pen tool for 12 minutes. This is your 10% ruled grit session. Snack 4, the connect one, redesign the awful menu from your favorite pizza place just for fun. You're still building the core skill of design, but you're jumping between different flavors of learning. Your brain gets little beeps of novelty while you're still laying the deep foundation. You're not quitting design for photography, you're just snacking on a different part of the design buffet. This is how you outsmart your own boredom. This is where the true magic of the Polymath advantage kicks in. It's not about mastering one thing in a lonely vacuum, it's about the connections between the things. That friend who's a software engineer and a painter, they see user interface design in a way a pure coder never could. The musician who studies psychology, they write lyrics that hit you in a deeper subconscious place. The baker who understands chemistry, that's why their soufflé never falls, and they can explain why. Your scattered interests aren't a distraction from your one true purpose. They are the raw material of your purpose. Your unique perspective, built from connecting ideas that shouldn't go together, is your unfair advantage. The world is full of specialists who see in one color. It desperately needs integrators, polymaths who can weave the whole rainbow. But you can't connect dots you haven't collected. You have to stay with something long enough to get past the shiny surface and find its deep underlying patterns. Then you can take that pattern, the rhythm from music, the feedback loop from coding, the narrative arc from writing, and lay it over your next interest. That's where innovation is born. That's when you stop following paths and start drawing your own map. So, here's what I want you to do. Don't you dare abandon all your interests. That's your fuel. Instead, pick one. Just one for the next 90 days. Pick the one that nags you the most or the one with the dustiest equipment. Your mission is not to become a master. Your mission is simply to prove to yourself that you can navigate the plateau. Use the 10% rule to train your follow-through muscle every time it gets boring. Use the snack stack to keep your curious brain engaged and happy from multiple angles. And as you learn, constantly ask the polymath's question. What does this remind me of? How does this concept from coding show up in cooking? How is this guitar chord progression like a story arc? You are not a failed specialist. You are a polymath in training. Your browser tabs aren't graveyards of dead ideas. They're a garden, and you've just been learning what each plant needs. Now it's time to tend. Start tending. The world needs what you're going to build with all those weird, wonderful pieces. And hey, if you're watching this instead of working on that one thing you just picked in your head, classic move. I get it. So here's your first 10% rep. Close this video, open that tab, do 10% more than you want to. I'll be here when you get back. Now go on. Your mosaic is waiting.